The bus hummed gently as it rolled down a rain-soaked highway, headlights cutting through the misty night. She sat halfway down the aisle, arms folded tightly, trying to quiet the storm inside her chest. She never meant to fall asleep. All she wanted was a moment of silence, a space where no one asked questions, but exhaustion finally won. Somewhere between Chicago and St. Louis, her head slipped sideways. Resting against the shoulder of the man beside her, he didn't flinch. His gaze stayed fixed on the window, watching raindrops race one another down the glass. He didn't know her name. He didn't ask. And yet, he let her rest there, as if it was the most natural thing in the world. If you enjoy emotional and heart-touching stories, make sure to like this video and subscribe to HQ Infinite Stories. Hours later, the bus pulled into the station. The glow of the city stretched long shadows across the pavement. She didn't realize then, but everything was about to change. The next morning, she woke up to the scent of coffee drifting through a small kitchen. She blinked, confused. This wasn't her room. A thin blanket slid from her shoulders as she sat up slowly. "Morning," a voice said from the doorway. It was warm, cautious, like someone trying not to startle a wild bird. She stared at him, trying to piece together the bus, the rain, his shoulder. Somehow, she must have followed him here. Maybe he'd offered her a place for the night. "Sorry," she whispered, embarrassed. "I didn't mean to." "It's all right," he said quickly. "You looked like you needed rest." He set down a mug of coffee black. No sugar and disappeared back into the kitchen. Through the blinds, the city came alive, car horns, barking dogs, sirens echoing in the distance. The apartment was small, paint peeling from the walls, but strangely, it felt safe. Later, he finally introduced himself. "I'm Mark." She hesitated before replying. "Sarah," and that was it. He didn't pry. He didn't ask why her eyes looked like she hadn't slept in weeks, or where she was going next. For that, she was grateful. Days passed. Quietly, she began helping with little things, washing dishes, folding laundry, picking up groceries. Somehow, it felt natural. He left for work every morning in a worn gray hoodie, coming back tired but never unkind. The world outside was loud and restless, but in that apartment, peace lingered. Sometimes they talked about small things, his car breaking down, her dream of living by the ocean. Other nights, silence spoke for them, broken only by the clink of forks and the hum of the fridge. But one question haunted her. Why was he letting her stay? One snowy evening, he handed her an envelope. "You should read this," he said softly. Inside, a letter, old, carefully folded. Her hands trembled. As she opened it, it wasn't from Mark. It was from someone she hadn't heard from in years. Her father. Tears blurred the words as she read his apology, his regrets, his wish that she would one day find kindness where he had failed to give it. He wrote that he hoped she'd discover a place safe enough to finally rest. Mark shifted. Uneasy. "He sent it to my mom before he passed. She asked me to give it to you, if I ever found you." She looked at him, stunned. All those years, she thought she'd been abandoned, unloved. Yet here was a stranger, a quiet man carrying her father's final words. For the first time in years, the heavy weight pressing on her chest began to lift. It wasn't about the bus ride. It wasn't even about Mark. It was about hope, about forgiveness, about starting over. She wiped her eyes, clutching the letter close. Sometimes, the people we meet by accident carry the very answers we've been searching for all along. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to HQ Infinitestories for more powerful stories like this one.